start this video the same way every time. All right, here we go. It's been a little bit, huh? Been a little bit, but we're back. We are back, ready to mog away. Got YouTube, got TikTok, as per usual. And we are just rounding off the end of the day here. It's been a kind of crazy day with setting everything up, getting all the stuff rolling here, but glad we got everybody in. And yeah, some crazy cases lately, to be quite honest. We're getting good results with it, so it's really what matters. Hello, hello. I see people popping in here. What's going on there? I can't see who's liking it though, unfortunately. YouTube, let me know. Mic check, as per usual. Mic check it up. Oh, hello. It's Francesca. Right. Well, hey, just starting the live. We got almost 7:15 here, Eastern time. But yeah, got a little mushroom water. Kind of double fisting today. Got the coffee mug. And let's see what we get ourselves into. Actually, I freaking forgot one of the most important things. So I'm going to be right back. Ah. All right. We're back. Hopefully, see me snaking through the back of the camera here, or in the window reflection. I'm actually kind of annoyed that I didn't get to do this a little bit earlier because we had a bunch of snow on the trees outside and it was very, very pretty. But it's dark now, so you'll see the snow tomorrow. We actually got a decent amount. We got like freaking 8 inches of snow. It's pretty cool. But look at all you popping in here. We got it's kind of funny. We gotta wake up the systems here because it's been like probably 4 days since I've been live, which is way too long. So let's get it all liking up, sharing up. Look at you sending gifts and everything. Thank you so much. Christmas came early. Got the little heart on my head. YouTube, you're matching TikTok right now with the 6 in there. So the nose guy just joined. I don't know if you do plastic surgeries. But I guess in good news, Jen, what's going on, Jen? This I feel like my face is very, very, very bright today. I'm not sure how to change this, so we're dealing with it for now. What was I gonna say there? Just let me. Oh yeah, we're almost 2,000 followers on TikTok, which just means I get to put the link in the bio. We're not there yet, so freaking follow away. We're almost there. We're 901, I think, the last time I checked. So obviously, YouTube, same deal. Not too worried about subscriber count or anything on YouTube. It's because we already got the links in there. You can schedule your own appointments. You could see all the discounts I have on all the cool stuff, and we're adding to it even more. I'm gonna have cool EMF protecting devices that you can put on your hand or on your wrist, even whole home ones, things you could attach to your phone. Gonna be having salt up there, all the good stuff. I do want to get protein up there too. Why do you? Oh man, this is a health Q and A. Health Q and A. You guys want to get political? as soon as I jump on here. Which it's not that I don't like politics. I do. It's just not the right place for it. you know, but pretty crazy, you know. Pretty crazy world we live in here. Um I figured you guys would be a little bit quiet just because it's been a minute since I've been on here, so I've just been dealing with so much crazy stuff. So, um yes. Hello, where are you from? I'm from New Jersey. Born and raised. I've been all over the country though because of school the past like 10 years. Technically 8, but um yeah, I went to school in Pennsylvania for undergrad, then went to Missouri for graduate school, and then I worked in Florida, I worked in Wisconsin, I worked here, starting my own practice here. Heck yeah. Sounds good as right. Oh, we got questions coming through here. Where is Pennsylvania, or where in Pennsylvania? Wilkes-Barre. I went to King's College, so Wilkes-Barre is not the best place in the world. If you guys don't know about Wilkes-Barre, it is not extravagant by any means, but it was fun. It was super fun. Megan, first question of the night. Holy moly. Miss Megan, I have carpal tunnel release surgery on Thursday, and I'm not looking forward to it. Just kidding. I was lying. That was not a question. Still valid though. Bum bum bum. Yeah, I mean, general advice: follow what they're saying you should be doing, because it's definitely important prior to surgery or anything that you're doing under the knife, and you'll be just fine. You'll be just fine. I do not watch WWE. I watch UFC only, and I don't really watch it that much anymore. Okay, getting weird questions again. Again, YouTube health Q&A. I don't know why I have to say this. Doesn't it tell you as soon as you join in here? Like it should say health question and answer as soon as you join. That is what the live is about. That's been the structure of the live. That will continue to be the structure of the live. I do some long form stuff every now and again, but when I'm not crazy busy. Quick question, fire away. Wish I could go no or less sugar, but I don't have the willpower. Ariel, yes, you do. You gotta dig deep, brother. Gymnema will help. Oregon grape will help. Coleus, some dandelion root, and the herbs are really to just help you through the challenge for one thing, but then promote good physiological change in there. Gymnema is the sugar destroyer, so if you don't know what the heck I'm talking about, you probably should start doing some Gymnema. Message me for more until I get the links in the bio here, which depends on us getting to 1,000 followers. So hit that follow button. What else? I saw thyroid conversion issues, certainly. I'm super close to starting levothyroxine. So, can you always fix thyroid conversion issues? Yeah, that is done by the liver most of the time. There's also a little bit done by the GI. In terms of a little bit, the liver really does like 60% of that thyroid hormone conversion, so quite a bit. And that's why we do this no sugar challenge. It's why we run all these labs to figure out, okay, and you may need something like a Dutch test too that could just evaluate phase one and see how well that's working. Because if you have had issues metabolizing certain estrogens or just lifelong hormonal issues, hey, now we should probably run a Dutch test there. Um, is that the only thing? No, but you know, possible stool test in there because the GI does 20% of that conversion. Thyroid itself does 20%. You can start doing some thyroid glandular, which has roughly 120 micrograms of T3 in there, and probably about 30 um, of T4. So you do get inactive and active forms of that hormone. I do like something like nettle leaf, Sisandra, just to help break up hormones are being bind up and not coming apart, especially with the liver that way. And Autoimmunity, huge place to look, which is why I mentioned the GI, just because autoimmunity will be affected like crazy without the G with wow, I can't talk today. Throughout the GI. Um, so Sasandra, some thyroid glandular in there, probably nettle leaf, a little bit of gotu kola, but I would have to know more about your case, which you've been doing already. And it's just a matter of getting the right labs done and pulling away the stressors that are mitigating your body from doing these conversions. You're programmed to have these conversions, and you don't have a medication deficiency, right? Um, there's none that exist on the whole planet. So different way of thinking, but feel free to give us more details. Michelle, awesome, Pennsylvania here. Beautiful. Yeah, I was over in Luzerne County. I had a lot of fun. I made some great friends. Still maintain those friendships. So I'm grateful for my Pennsylvania experience. Somebody says they got my fingerprints. Cool. How do I ace the MCAT? No idea. Study your heart out. No starting T3 Cinnamel, not Levo. My liver enzymes look great. Had poor conversion for years. So active liver enzymes are just going to look for major things going on. If you have ALT and AST and alk-phos in check, that doesn't mean that there's not a liver issue going on, because that is really only looking for in the moment. It's a snapshot in time. It's not looking at functionality. So it's looking at proteins that get released when there's damage being done. There can still be a liver that is slowing down, even due to some gallbladder issues too. I've seen that a ton. To where people have, I mean, it's the number one surgery. Last I checked, still in the U.S., gallbladder surgery, getting that thing removed because so many people have issues with it because there's so much toxicity in the world, and you need bile to get rid of that toxicity. So I would wonder if they looked at antibodies. I would wonder if they did a full thyroid panel. It should be reverse T3, T uptake, TSH, obviously, free T4, free T3, free T, total amounts of those T4 and T3, and then two forms of antibodies. And I think I mentioned reverse T3 first. So it's around 11 markers total. And yeah, I guarantee that probably wasn't done. And there's probably some hidden autoimmunity. At that point, you still have to look for the immune triggers. And if you don't know what's blocking it, we have to figure out the labs for why that is being blocked. Hello, Doc. Could you please explain why I would get put on levothyroxine after a stroke? I have no idea. I have no idea. Jared, we are talking all things holistic health, my man. So, what would highlight liver enzymes function in those standard liver labs? A Dutch test. A Dutch test for phase 1. Phase 2, honestly, there isn't very good assessments out there right now. So you kind of have to look at phase 3, which is the toilet. So what I mean by that is looking at the GI, seeing at if there are active infections going on, microbially, what's happening there, but then the immune system too. Where's your vitamin D? Where are your sugars? Where are some of the immune markers there too? And just get a better idea of uncovering the stones that we need to look at. So, all right, YouTube chats, we're getting busy over here. Bum, bum, bum. I discussed last time regarding uric acid and consuming Oregon grape. I checked it out. It's not available. Have you checked out? Okay, wait. Not available in India. Yes, it is mainly U.S. grown, hence the name Oregon grape, right? Um, it's gonna be a little harder to get. uh, but send me a message on here. I'm gonna try and look for an international one that you could possibly get. Or you're on YouTube. Sorry, there is no message button. Send me an email. It's in my Linktree bio thing. You'll find me. You'll find me. And we'll find you a manufacturer that can get this stuff to you. But yes, Oregon grape. She's a beautiful one. So, what else we got? Doing better and still in PT after laparoscopic gallbladder removal. Had terrible rib pain. Still need super soft bed, toppers to sleep. I love dead hangs. Feels like the QL's getting tight. Certainly. Certainly. Something to be doing some ox bile before every meal, just because you're going to need that from now on. And then somebody else, do I know Josh Axe? I didn't know his last name was Axel, but yeah. Or what do I think about him? Meh, you know? I think people try and sell products instead of focusing on the patient. So, woke up on my 90th birthday, not able to feel my skin. Holy moly. I'm 21 now. Doctors have no idea what it is. Still have nerve problems. There can be some co-infections going on. There can be a tick-borne illness. That's very common to see. The exact reaction that you had. I don't want to say multiple sclerosis right off the bat, but there are a lot of connections with multiple sclerosis and tick-borne illnesses. So I would do a cytokine panel and probably co-infections with that too, and see what we got going on, and possible Liza just to get a better assessment for active antibodies that are being triggered. You don't want to look post. That doesn't tell you a whole lot. Where am I from? New Jersey. Please read here. Oh boy. I do not look like Charlie Kirk. What is the alternative in case you can't transport? I would have to find a brand that works for you. Nice hair. Bye. See ya. All right. That's pretty gross. It's pretty gross. What type of doc are you? Chiropractor, practitioner for the Wellness Way. Everything holistic, yeah. Hello, I'm Brian from Kenya. Hello, Brian. Sorry, I'm reading the YouTube chats. Hello, how are you? Sub Batman. All right. Not too many valid health questions over on YouTube. You guys are freaking crazy. Really helped my sister-in-law. It's miraculous. Interesting. I didn't think he saw patients. I thought he sold protein. We might be talking about the different acts. Less than 3 low troponin levels. Do I need to worry about a heart attack anytime soon? I'm in my 20s. I would want to know way more about you and also know an advanced cardio panel to see where lipoproteins are, especially the lipoprotein little a, small dense LDLs. That's just going to give us way more info as to active plaquing, active damage to blood vessel walls. But yeah. Certainly. I mean, not yes to the scare there, but yes to looking into it more. Hello, what's the best medicine for pain? Again, I don't prescribe prescriptions, but in terms of the natural world, Boswellia. Boswellia is awesome. Given cost and false positives, especially with IgG food panels, when is testing actually worth it? It's not worth it if you're on a steroid because it's just going to come up very, very low and minimal. But to understand, those are immune complex reactions. There are allergies. They are allergies. Read any immunology textbook. There's only 4 types of allergies, and it's one of those types. It's delayed. Creates immune complexes, full reaction, all that stuff. And it's really from not being able to break down food enough because your body's supposed to take proteins, break them down into amino acids, and then put them back together into things that your body's going to make tissues from and make resources from. So I think it's a huge asset to a patient because they change over time. So it should be done every 10 to 12 months. And if you're not doing repair work on the GI, you can't simply just avoid that test. So everything that you're going to see is in an article is, did they do one thing and cure disease from doing that one thing? And you're never going to see that with the food test. So it's just the interpretation of it and the how it's being practiced. So best way to treat Parkinson's, you want to focus on sugar a ton, do some kava, do some bakuna seed, and do a GI test because that's where the brain is mainly going to make neurotransmitters from. Have a family history of MS, but did not show up on my MRI or CT. That is beautiful. That is a good thing. Um, I would wonder what your concerns are if you think that could be developing at this time. It may be worth looking into that more. Okay. Holy messages. Okay, Zimbabwe. Hello, Mr. Rohith. I did not forget about you. I did not. Hello from India. You guys always fight. Everybody's fighting in the YouTube chats all the time. It's kind of funny. Look like Bruce from Batman. The fights going on in these chats. What do you specialize in? Holistic health, health restoration, and optimization. I'm not following anybody unless you put out great content. Bum, bum, bum. All right. Somebody said Timu, Andrew Huberman. That's hilarious. That is so funny. No, I will not follow you. YouTube chat got crazier. Yeah, the YouTube chat's been crazy. I don't know. I was this close last time to putting subscribers only in the chat because holy hell, this is like Lee Mina dash stay. Please follow me, guys. Like, make content, make something worth watching, and we'll find you. What is the best space? Cause I don't know what that means. YouTube chat's crazy because I'm always in it. That's funny. I want to be a gyno, cardio, or neurosurgeon. Beautiful. Are you from Asia? No. I'm Italian. No challenges this month. Yes, Rohith. It's the no sugar challenge. What the heck? You're 19 days late. Frick. My goodness. No, you get a pass. You get a pass. Okay. Lee Mina, go find something to do. Wendy Wheel, where in New Jersey? Randolph, New Jersey. Morris County. We talking counties here. It's always been that way. Oh my goodness. Hold on. Let's get back to where we were. All right, more political questions. All of that is always normal. I've had healthy anxiety for a couple of months. There's no healthy anxiety. Been to the ER over 50 times and got everything tested. No. They look for pathology. So you did not get everything from a functional standpoint tested. You got things from a pathology point tested because you went to a hospital and they were looking for a cause of pathology, possible life altering things going on, not looking for functionality or where homeostasis was lost or what stressors are pretty much impeding your ability to heal and creating the symptomatology that you're experiencing. So, yeah, we got to do way more than that. And in terms of functionality, not that the pathology tests were not ran, they certainly were. But yeah, and anytime that I have to totally put my foot down and squash something, I will, because I would want a doctor to tell me, is this actually true? Because you think you had everything run under the sun, which is great for in terms of causes of I'm not sure what words are censored around here, but causes of death. That's what they're looking for, um, or a potential cause. So yeah, that's what it's for. Looking for disease. We want to look for homeostasis, functionality, and what's impeding your body. So yes. What is the best way to heal esophagitis naturally? I heard Slippery Elm. Probably a 3-day bone broth protein fast. It's probably the fastest, best way. Like I said, if yeah, is there a possible way to tell you more about neuropathy skin issue? We could do a free introductory call after this, and just send me a message on here, and I'll see that come in, and we'll get on a call. All right. Where are we in terms of YouTube chats? I don't even know. This is like, hey, Rohith, I'm gonna join the challenge. Heck yeah. You know what though? It's cool. You're studying away, so you don't have to be on socials. I'd prefer you doing your thing, right? Where am I from? New Jersey. New Jersey. Rohith. Oh my god. Da, da, da. With high heels on. What the? Respect, but not. Yeah, nice. A nickname. Love it. Where am I from? New Jersey again. For real, for real. All right. Like the hair. More grease? What the? This is um tallow hair clay. There ain't no grease. All right. How's the job market for the finance industry? I have no idea. This is not my area of expertise at all. My goodness. All right, we caught a little stagnation here. Thank goodness. Give me a little break before the next storm. Rohith don't want it. YouTube is always trying to start fights here. Can I move you guys a little bit more in relevant patterns here? There we go. Now I can see everybody. My goodness. That actually worked pretty well. I don't have not as bright on this camera. Just by moving that a little bit. YouTube is crazy. I know. And no health questions. It freaking shoots me out to India, all these people in the world, and we're talking about like let me just to give you guys an idea on TikTok here. Um, I will just inform of. He wants this guy. Please, Gaia Mandam 28th Kohai. Like, what are we even saying? Bro, I'm not hitting up on Ehem. Like, what? You don't lie. We're all friends in here. I sure hope so. I do try and keep it peaceful, you know? You got both men and women fighting in the chat for you. How does that make you feel? It's kind of weird, you know? It's kind of weird. No one's got it confused. I don't even know. Hot sauce bananas. I don't even know who you are. Who you are, what you look like. Y or WYLL, right? As long as it's funny, I like the chats. If it's not funny, it's like, what are we doing? I like comedy. Okay, back to TikTok, who seems to have great questions here. Mr. Jared, what outcome data supports routine, Dutch, stool, and food allergy despite cost? You act like we make money off labs here. All that money goes directly to the lab. So it's not a for profit thing, it's to give patients answers to the things that they've never gotten answers for. But yeah, we're here with, you know, some medical minded thing, and there's more to do with your body than just get drugs and surgery. If I don't know, if all you want is drugs and surgery, please scroll to a TikTok live that only does that. Here we're talking about medicinal herbs that come from the planet, that come from God who created these things, plus medicinal mushrooms, plus organ meats, different proteins, different isolated vitamins and minerals, depending on what the patient needs. And it's all patient centered care. Everything you do is should be patient centered based on your situation. And I've never seen two people with the same thing going on. So, yes, Lamina Stay, I don't know what some of you guys are cringe, dude. It's just cringe. Just mog them to death and move on. So, what medical field do you specialize in? None of them. I'm not a prescriber or a surgical person. Not that I'm against those things, I just don't perform those. I'm everything here's holistic health. Holistic health. Marcel, no, never in a million years. Okay. Ugh, this is gross. Seems like hot sauce is gone. Thank God. Thank God. Didn't do anything wrong, sir. Who is this person? I'm just gonna peek at this profile here. I can't really look too far into it during the live, but I should really get a third device, to be quite honest. What state? I don't even know if I want to tell you guys what state I'm in anymore. It's getting weird. I'm just trying to help people that have health problems as much as possible. Like asking about baby oil. What is going on? Brain dead chat. Brain dead. What do you think about Jock's Axel again? So another bot account asking the same freaking 50 goddamn questions in a row. How do you fix? Oh, thank God. How do you fix the microbiome after an antibiotic? Is there anything wrong with doing a little bit of probiotics after that for probably 2, 3 months? No, I don't see much wrong with that. But there was a reason that you needed the antibiotic in the first place. And it was usually because sugars were too high, vitamin D was too low, and then opportunistic infections overgrew. So there are bugs and critters that make it to your GI and start living there when the opportunity presents itself. So if you can rebuild the environment back, which requires a GI test so that we can understand the environment and what you need in terms of daily fiber recommendations, in terms of what foods to be avoiding, what GI systems to be supporting to get optimized function there. Start to correct these things like stool patterns, obviously, the form of it. Um, People don't realize that the form of your stool, the color, that all means things. So, yeah, I think there's a lot of good value in a test like that. I am planning on moving to Germany. Oh my goodness, for future studies. Keep us informed. April says, thank you. You're very welcome, April. I live in Hyderabad. I don't know what that is, but sounds cool. You guys never gave me a mic check, by the way. I know TikTok's is fine because I got this big honking thing. But what about YouTube? I got this little sucker on there for you guys. Did you guys notice that? Notice that I'm double mic'd? Pretty cool. All right. What do we got? What's popping? I don't know what YouTube's saying. I'm just gonna keep tending to TikTok until you guys ask something relevant. How would you fix dysbiosis? Figuring out why you have dysbiosis. I would run a food allergy test and a GI effects panel and probably take a good patient history, figure out some paperwork, um, just to get a better idea of certain symptoms that you may not even think about. Maybe even things connected to the skin, things connected to the way your farts smell, the way you feel after perfume or a heavy diesel truck passes by. Because if you're getting nauseous from some of that, that means things, especially with the liver and the gallbladder. Um, Frequency of urination, frequency of bowel movements, and just a good history, and then following that up with labs to pair with what you're going through, and have it explain the symptomatology, and then lay out a plan of what to do. So, initial steps though, like, can you start doing initial steps? I like betaine HCl just because you're supporting the stomach, providing good stomach acid there. Again, if crazy amounts of mental stress are going through the system, then that's going to be a big connection with why the stomach acid gets low in the first place. And why I even talk about that is because it will lead to dysbiosis if it's too low. Overconsumption of carbs, especially complex carbs, breads, pastas, potatoes, things like that. Betaine HCl, a great way, get stomach acid up. You can tighten the dose so that you can just better understand dosage, and if you can start coming down with that. So tighter means you take betaine HCl, you wait 1 or 2 minutes, wait to feel a sensation in the GI. If you don't, you take another. And then you keep doing that process until you feel pressure in the stomach, or like when you're really hungry and it gets kind of that burning feeling. It's not a painful feeling, but that's how you know you're doing enough. And then you can start to work that down since you're getting the feedback loop with the brain reoriented, since it's a sensory feedback. But that also stimulates the pancreas, that also stimulates the gallbladder, and a lot of that too. Dandelion root, a great thing to be doing too. A liver cooler, but also fantastic for the small intestine. I do like Oregon grape as well here. And not knowing anything else, I would probably leave it at those three and want to do some additional labs with you and just dial it in from there. Heck yeah. Great question. Great question. Am I Albanian? No, I am Italian. 100%. I know the fit and the mogging does support that thought process, but Laura Bolt, holy moly. Hello, how we doing? Hello, Raphael. Okay, we're all caught up there. Let me scroll back down. Crowded. In the first place, we should at least know what this live is about. I thought for the longest time, my apologies, for the longest time, I thought that it says when you first join, it should say a description of the live, correct? Or am I wrong? Let me know, because then I knew the world wrong this entire time. Um, but my whole thought was that it says health question and answer when you join, and that was kind of how you knew to start asking some health questions. So I could be wrong though. Let me know. What is the biggest positive immediate change when somebody who eats a lot of sugar starts cutting it out? The biggest change that you'll see is water weight will drop dramatically. Carbohydrate. So anytime you consume sugars, they're carbs, carbohydrate, there's a ton of draw for water because that glucose has to be processed, and within that process it involves a lot of water. So you will see distension of the GI when you're consuming a lot of sugars, and immediately when you start cutting these things out, you should see a reduction in water weight and a reduction in bloating. Irritability, another common thing to see go away. Um, Less of irritation or anxiety because of sugar is very excitatory. So once you start reducing that, you're going to have better dopamine cycling because you're not just hitting the dopamine button on sugar, which is exactly what it does. It's very stress relieving, and that's, I mean, stressed spelled backwards is desserts. So it makes a ton of sense when you look at it that way. Um, those are probably the biggest things, and probably any condition is related to sugar, and if you start correcting excess sugars, you will impact every condition on the planet. So pretty cool. When should I drink water after a meal? for Crohn's people. So your motility is going to be really fast. You're going to have to kind of time your eating almost with the bathroom because there's a lot of irritation there. And your body's immediately going to try and remove immune irritants out of the system. And this is why food allergy testing is huge because you're seeing what your body's flagging those food proteins for, and you can start avoiding them to get some of that motility reduction. So you're not running to the bathroom after you take 3 bites. Very common to see, especially with even paired with gallbladder removal too. Um, you won't have anal leakage in the same way, but it's going to be pretty short transit time. Soluble and insoluble fibers, in terms of research bound things, have the greatest effect possible. Sauerkraut, fermented vegetables, even sprouted veggies too, just from the anti-nutrient load. I think, a glandular can do you really well because you're going to be with that quick motility time. You're you're just going to cover a lot of deficiencies that develop from having that quick motility time, and your body's going to be moving out a lot of these foods out of the system way quicker than anybody else. So a glandular, when I say that, like a digestive glandular, which will have stomach, small intestine, pancreas, and liver in there. Probably pairing that with something like shaga, just because of the beta glucans in there, just to support with, and those are polysaccharides that you do want. Those are technically a form of very long chain sugars. And if you just dive into the research on fiber, uncovering some deficiencies there, and probably shaga mushroom, you can get a good reduction in some of the symptomatology. But you're going to need food allergy testing and a GI test on top of that to have this issue go away for good. And it's about finding the daily stressors from mental, chemical, and physical stuff, which can involve food, that can involve your air quality, your water quality, all this stuff. Obviously, a history there does make it a lot easier because of possible antibiotic use, different medications that were used throughout the process there. But Crohn's is a big one. But there's a ton of daily actions and tests that you can do to get this under wraps. So, great question. All right, let's see what YouTube's got here. I'm already annoyed. I do have offline friends, dietitian or something. What foods help tremors? Probably your magnesium and your potassium rich foods. I would lean toward avocados a ton, toward cacao nibs, cacao butter. Um, I would look for mineral intake. So, how much salt are you getting in a day? Maybe an Ultima powder, dropping your sugars, getting off your phone. Those are probably great initial steps you could do. Uh, in terms of the tremor thing, technically California poppy, that is a food in a tincture form. So just a really consolidated form of that. He's got 2 mics. This is true. This is very true. Rohith, ask away. I'm still here checking the YouTube chats. As a complete one platform, I switch to the other, let them build up, and then just kind of go back and forth. So, bum, 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 bum. Heck yeah. I know. The TikTok people ask great questions. How's MedChem for future studies? TikTok people have genuine great questions. YouTube is just crazy. Yes. Yes. My goodness. Oh no, it's banned. Well, I post the replay uh either sometime tomorrow or sometime after it. So you'll see the replay from the different angle there. How's MedCam for future studies like drug designing? I don't know, honestly. I will be straight up honest with you. No freaking clue. Coca Cola, hey, hell no. No, no. Terrible, terrible. No Coca Cola. Oh my goodness, we got a day 19 no sugar person in here. Beautiful. Okay, wait. Let's get back to where we were. Okay, Coca-Cola. Okay, question mark. No exclamation point. Thank you. You're welcome. So. Speaking in Spanish, I do not speak Spanish. Neil, I eat whatever I want. I remind my body every day that it is healthy and strong and it obeys. Look at that mental fortitude. Look at the power that you have over your cells. It's admirable. Laura Bolt, good. I got to see my baby on an ultrasound today. Holy moly. Everybody, like it up for Laura. Let's get a little golf clap in there. Laura's having a baby. Um, Before you join the live, it does say a no sugar talent question mark challenge. Okay, cool. I thought I made a typo. It turns out it was just a typo. Hello, Elijah. I think I'm saying that right. Ram Norma. Keep it going. Keep her going. Thanks. I need to commit to no sugar. Heck yeah. Heck yeah. I'm doing it too. It's the entire company is doing this. Patients, staff, freaking people in headquarters, patients, everybody. So jump on in. I could help you get signed up too. Completely free thing. You just get a ton of resources. You get discounted on a bunch of stuff. So no harm in joining. What gut issues can cause autoimmune lupus? Oh my goodness. The list is very large. I mean, just consuming wheat alone for a long period of time can lead to an autoimmune flare up. So, but there are gram negative bacteria, there's gram positive bacteria, there's fungal issues that can take place. There's even fungal issues that are connected to things airborne wise, too, in regards to mold within ventilation systems and just growing on apartment walls and on the other side of your shower within the wall, things like that. And parasitology, too. Parasitic infections are certainly real. they it sounds crazy, but you can test for them, and it's best to do that test around the full moon, believe it or not. Um, which again sounds like total witchcraft. I get it, but that's just the best results I've seen. But yeah, in terms of the autoimmune lupus piece, it is pretty much figuring out okay, in regard to food and the GI, how do we start to cinch up the one cell layer barrier that is the GI and its interaction with your bloodstream? Because simple food reactants will slip through that barrier when that environment is not protected and you don't have good mucosal protection, you don't have good cell walls that are preventing very large proteins from passing through. So that's where stomach acid comes in. That's where fibers come in a ton. I know my carnivore people are like, you don't need fiber. It's not a blah, blah, blah. It's like, okay, you get a massive reduction in all cause mortality by taking in soluble and insoluble fibers, pretty much above 30 to 40 grams a day. But that's a very jam packed question. Um, what gut issues can cause autoimmune lupus? Pretty much every one of them. So, great question. All right. YouTube's still wilding out. It's 10 to. Hopefully, it looks like we dropped down in terms of total viewers. So hopefully, it's some normal people here. Um, I've been off sugar for 7 years. Holy moly. That is a long time. Watching America is like watching a bus going off the cliff, and half the passengers are cheering. See, this is what I was talking about with the comedy stuff. That is hilarious. Jim, you're right on it, brother. All right. What the? We're getting a free appointment with the doc. Every day is a good day, even with trouble. Do you know why? Because Jesus is the living word. Much love. Look at that. Thanks, Paul. please. Any cures for multiple sclerosis? That word's pretty terrible because there's really no cures for anything. So it's a matter of rebuilding the body back, figuring out why it's creating that condition in the first place, because that's exactly what it's doing. The body creates disease to adapt toward dysfunction. When it fails to adapt, you get that disease and it keeps going. And then that disease turns into another one that seems like there's no connection to it, but there certainly is. So, cures is basically a terrible word to give false hope, to be quite honest. Even when somebody's cured of cancer, there's still cancer cells inside your body every day. So, you know, it's when your immune response can't surmount the amount of replication of cells that's taking place and they become wildly dysfunctional, and your body has to put them all into a clump that we call a tumor. And that tumor is positioned well so that your body can isolate the most dangerous thing in your body and attack it like crazy. So, if you didn't get cancer, you'd be gone already. Um, and yeah, disease is a response. So, what's the response? That's what we have to figure out and then rebuild it back in terms of the mental, chemical, physical stress that weighs on everybody every day. And there's many different routes to do that. It's now what is based around the individual. I see smokers, I see people with tick borne illnesses, I see people with a lot of GI trouble. The GI, just a huge component of feeding the brain, and the nervous system responses there because of all the neurotransmitter production that's created by the GI itself. So yeah, and I'm again not being mean. I'm just giving you guys the info as straight as possible. So all right, what can I do to get my gastric temporary stimulator approved? My insurance keeps denying it. I have no idea, to be quite honest with you. Bum, bum, bum. Let's get back to where we were. Okie dokie. Is this where we were? Yes. From experience with patients, do you feel any type of diet helps autoimmune issues? Vegan, keto, probably carnivore ish or fibrivore. So basically, carnivore mixed with a ton of fiber. That's probably your best bet. So, quickest answer I could give. From gastroparesis, I would have a totally different approach here, and I would want to figure out how to solve the gastroparesis response, um, which is testing the immune response and figure out why it's responding and slowing that GI down like crazy. Do you know what? Do you happen to know what causes seizures? Um, Heavy metals, so children that have received vaccinations in excess, very common to see. I've had kids with 40, 50 seizures a day um, and corrected those things. So, heavy metals and major GI disruption would be my best two answers. On keto, which helps my sugar cravings tremendously. It certainly does. I just wouldn't do that more than 3 months. It can weigh on the kidneys. How do autoimmune? How do? Why can't I speak tonight? How do autoimmune diseases work? You go through so many stressors in your life, and the immune response starts becoming very aggressive to try and get certain antigens under control. That battle is lost most of the time because those antigens keep coming in and starting a battle. And now the immune response starts to confuse your own cells with the antigens. So that's like a plain English thing of what's happening there. Back to YouTube. Bum bum bum. One. My brother has some unknown disease. Even the top Indian docs are not able to detect this disease. I pray for him every day. Well, hey, ask away. Let's see what we can do. Yes, doc. Daughter with MS for 30 years already, suffering a lot. So, again, MS, autoimmune, condition. So we need to figure out the autoimmune triggers and then correct the environment. Sounds easy just saying that, but essentially, food allergies is a great place to start. I would probably want to see previous blood work that she's had, and then possible GI test here as well. So it's just or an oats test that can give us a good direction, maybe even cytokines that can show what immune pathways are being thrown off, and that will tell me if there's infection, if there's barrier disruption, and what's going on. So yeah, you suggest LASIK. Um, I've never had LASIK. I know people that have had it and have had great success with LASIK surgery. If you're talking about the eye surgery, thank you. You're very welcome. Ask away. On keto, okay, we covered that one. Back to TikTok, yeah. All right. Where shall we continue from? I get all kinds of nervous system things from the esophagitis, mostly headaches, but a lot more things. Um, so your whole system's going to be responding to that irritation, and I would wonder if the esophagitis is now leaving you deficient in some things because of the pain and the disruption while eating, because you're pretty much rolling dice every time you eat something. I guarantee you figured out probably two or three foods that are enough to satisfy hunger, but you know, do not have a lot of nutrient density. I would want, again, a 3 day bone broth protein fast is what you have to do, because within 72 hours, you repair the entire lining of the GI. That's why I was saying that earlier. Not just trying to scuff you off or anything, but it's a real quick answer. Um, but now, once we do that repair work, it's figuring out the triggers so that this doesn't keep coming back. Because that is not something that you want to let run without tending to it. Your hairdo is giving Italian. You guessed correctly. People were saying Albanian over there, but that's not true. Fully Italian. I have a heartbeat of 150, but my heart is super healthy. So I'm guessing that it's anxiety. I would get off your phone. There's a ton of research on EMF, um, basically creating a response in the body, not creating issues directly. Even Elon Musk has stated, and he's true, physicists around the world, there's no direct thing from EMF, but there is a response done by the body to respond to that signal. And it opens calcium channels wide open. And I've seen way too many teenage girls come in on here with pots, taking not on here, into the office, taking calcium channel blockers when they're holding where do you hold your phone? Where's your heart? Right here. So I think you could benefit from a lot of potassium citrate and magnesium citrate, just because those are going to be highly deficient with that going on. And getting off your phone. Getting EMF Solutions has cell phone chips, whole home Wi-Fi blockers, and all that. And again, it doesn't completely block the signal. It will harmonize that frequency so it's not so chaotic and creating a calcium channel activation in every cell in your body. So you can certainly lead to palpitations that way. And yeah, this could be POTS going on. This could be a simple deficiency. I would wonder what labs you've already had, and maybe we need to run more. I can call up Elon if you want. I mean, yeah, I know his position on it. I'm just going off the bioinitiative.org and 6,000 other studies that have shown this. Agglutination, which is when red blood cells stick together, there's clear examples of that, of people not on a phone and then taking a phone call and then taking a phone call with that EMF protection. The blood goes from sticking together in huge crazy clumps that you would never want, and it goes from that to completely better. Some people's is even better than they uh, originally had on the original um, cohort test, or whatever you want to call the control group. But yeah, super cool. Yeah, people hear weird noises, people get ringing in the ears. The biggest hidden toxin in the world right now is the thing you're watching me through. So there's 5G, there's 6G coming out right now. They're even working on 7G. So hello, familia. How we doing? Look at that. We got some family popping in here. Are you think elites are reptilians? What the hell is going on here? Skipping that. Skipping that. Probably a ghost. I agree. What the hell are they saying? Okay, I've ignored TikTok for too long. YouTube is being a little crazy. Oh no, I talked about the heartbeat one. I mean, it can be anxiety. That's a piece of it too. But why do you have anxiety? you know, I'd wonder birth control use. I would wonder where progesterone's at. I would wonder what the daily cortisol rhythm's at, and if you need to do a Dutch test. Excuse me, we could do that. Even if you're in Canada, actually, Dutch doesn't charge a penny extra to do Dutch tests in Canada. Oh, sorry, burping on the camera. It's gross. I think it's gross. All right. TikTok, I swear, I'm going to tend to you guys right now. But I'm eating healthier. Bill says hello. Hello, Bill. Ah, no. TikTok always scrolls me to the bottom of the comment section whenever I'm trying to read one by one here. Oh, we got some haters. Kate P. Stop calling yourself a doctor. Read a fucking book, Kate. Because any MD is doctor of medicine. Any physical therapist is doctor of physical therapy. Any orthodontist is doctor of. Okay? Read a book. Freaking people. How long will I have clots? Emily, I would want to see the labs that you've had run, and we're going to have to run some advanced cardiometabolic markers here. I would definitely want you starting on some natal kinase for at the very least, but we need to expand on that. Well, I stopped my regurgitation by fixing my posture, so that's good. That is good. But I'll use the bone broth. Yes, yes. Hello from Sicily, Italy. Hello, fellow Italian. PPI and H2 blocker may be worse because you need stomach acid, and that's shutting it off. Really off and weak from 5 days of trying it. Yeah, taking a histamine H2 blocker, just trying to prevent histamine instead of figuring out why the histamine is responding in the first place and what it's responding to. So why don't we figure that out? And then the PPI, trying to shut off the acid reflux without figuring out where it's coming from. So for Kate on here, that's like, stop calling yourself. Kate, piss off. Do something useful with your life, right? All right, let's keep it nice today, you know. We're always getting the feisty ones here. Anyways, if 6,000 studies, that's not very convincing. Well, there's over 10,000. So how many more do you want? Especially when the FDA tells you it's a million times higher than what it actually is to create cellular changes and inhibit red blood cells from basically not coagulating and sticking together and then can't pass through capillaries. And then you wonder why you have brain fog and tinnitus and all these things. So, anyways, in the hospital, they tell me I have appendicitis. I don't know though. What should I do? I would trust what they're saying because you're in the hospital and they're literally doing all the tests on you right now. But I don't have POTS. I think it was my Apple Watch checking my heart rate while I was having a panic attack. Very possible. Very possible. Emily, I would want to test the COVID antibodies on you and wonder about COVID vaccine history. Wasn't the best idea. So, last 2 weeks of heart racing. So, I packed more, but I've been better. Glad to hear. Glad to hear. Bum, 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 bum. Hello from Michigan. Cool. I was in Wisconsin probably about a year ago. So if I was head of HHS, what's one thing I would do? Oof. Well, that'd get me kicked off here. So we're not gonna go that far. Anyways, Bovie, hello, says Boo. Scared me. I'll play along. Thoughts on methylene blue? I thought we weren't for dyes. It's a fabric dye. People talk about the MAO um, enzyme activation that happens with it, but you can do MAO activating through so many different things. So, is that the only thing you could do to get these cells to start um, functioning better? There's way more stuff. I don't want to do a fabric dye for or not for COVID vax. Well, just gonna do that. Advice for potential pre-med students: get ready to study like crazy. Get ready. It's coming in a good way. Mm-mm. Okay, how many chats did I not get to over here? Hello, hello. Probably Ghost. Okay, I caught back up. What do you do? Okay, I run a clinic. Superpower. I'm guessing that's sarcasm. Hope I become a good comedian. Certainly. Pakistan person. I think it's time. Oh, people getting feisty. Kidney stones, lifetime. No solutions. There's family history. I would avoid oxalate rich foods. I would want to send you a couple things on some food avoidance and then probe into some questions here because kidney stones constantly like that. I would wonder what's been doing for vitamin D, where we're at there, because people taking insurmountable amounts of D3 without K2 on there. I would really start pushing fermented foods and K2 rich foods like natto, which is a fermented soy. Usually I'm against soy, but in this instance, it's the highest thing on the planet in terms of K2 rich things. Um, Again, your fermented veggies, your sauerkrauts, your kimchis, all that good stuff. Avoiding the oxalate rich foods, probably some dilation of the kidneys, nettle leaf, and albizia too. But also, there's great benefits of dandelion root and cordyceps and things like that. So I would just want to dial things in a little bit more. So send me an email. It's in my bio for Jocelyn. Joyce and Nelson. I don't know. Tricky word or tricky name. G6 is big sickness. Yes. How to protect from phone vibes. That's great. Um, Basically, a EMF blocking thing. So cool. So overall, YouTube's better. The quality of questions is freaking 10 million times better on TikTok. Like, look at these. Um, how accurate are calcium heart tests? Well, great question. See, that was like literally the next question. If you're talking about a calcium score, I think it's great to look at the major vessels of the heart to get an evaluation as to how much plaquing has taken place, how much blockage there is. I think that is great value to have. It's $100. You can walk into a hospital and ask for it. So I think it's a fantabulous thing you could do. Is that the only thing you should do? No, but that could be paired very well with blood work and things. What are your thoughts on insomnia and shift work disorder? Yeah, if you're talking about third shift, those are the six patients that I have by far. Six patients I have, your brain is programmed to be on a normal circadian rhythm with the rotation of the earth, the rotation of the sun, and how that all orients, because we are programmed around light, and that, all the fake lights that we have definitely impacts us, and especially if you're working when you're supposed to be in the most detrimental hours of regeneration, which is between 9 and 11 o'clock. So yeah, I think third shift and night shift workers are, it's a type 2 carcinogen for a reason, you know. The cold weather in Wisconsin is crazy. It's actually pretty damn cold here too. I think it's supposed to be like 5 tonight. Um, Boy, what do you mean no sugar? Sugar's good from food like it's in bread. Bread you should not be eating. Fruits and veggies, yeah, yeah. Um, I mean, if we're here to debate biochemistry and human physiology, we certainly can. People beat the absolute shit out of their bodies from October through January, so you can do without a little bit of sugar for 1 month. Don't cry about it. Dude just jumps right over my comment. What did you say? No, I didn't. I addressed it. I think insomnia, and in terms of solution wise, I would want to do a Dutch test on you so that we can map out that circadian rhythm and all nine of the estrogens and their metabolites, as well as progesterone, which is heavily connected to cortisol rhythm. And if that's becoming depleted, then yeah, you're now wakeful when you should be going to bed, and going to bed when you should be wakeful, essentially. Melatonin, great thing to be doing there. Something called alcidonia as well. Things like GABA, B6, L-theanine, passion flower. That will cover all three GABA receptors in the brain. Can just help you. Obviously, it's going to take a while for you to reach a point where you know it's safe to move from one job to another, but we got to meet you where you're at. Certainly. Are you anti-medicine? No. Medicine saves lives every day. So people should not eat fruits and vegetables. Oh my god. It's just for January, dude. It's just for January. The fucking sugar addicts are crazy, dude. It's only for 30 days. You guys can do it, okay? I'm so addicted to sugar. I'm good for a few days, then I cave. Yeah, you need some gymnema, need some Oregon grape. Help with the sweet reception on the tongue, help with the sugar cravings and everything. Ton of berberine in there, helping with the same things that methylene blue does because of the effects on mitochondria from uh, excess sugar and things. So what should people eat? Real food. There are a couple fruits that you can do: avocados, blackberries, blueberries, raspberries, strawberries, lemons and limes in your water. But that's it for the no sugar challenge. It's purposefully restrictive, um, just to get people to reduce their sugar because you will impact everything. Okay. Um, Pregabalin appropriate when I was diagnosed with epilepsy and SSRI, SNRI, um, resistant anxiety. I would want to take a little bit of a different approach here, do some things to calm the brain down, and really focus on foods in the GI because that will start to repair the brain. You'll actually start to go back to normal and you'll feel that your med is too much at that point, which is a good thing. Because now that will allow us to basically say, okay, cool, I need you to go back, talk to your doc, and they're going to start to change this dose because you're going back to normal, which you certainly can because all the neurotransmitters that you, or the majority of them, 90+% of them, are created in the gut. So, you know, trying to just take an antidepressant, which is just going to change brain chemistry, why don't we fix the GI and have that make all your neurotransmitters? Heck yeah, buddy. All right. Blah blah blah. Question for you. Shoot. What? No. Apple cider vinegar can be helpful. Can be. Can be. But for kidney stones, you should do way more than that. You look Christian, but the American kind. What does that mean? Why does this doc look healthy? Something's wrong. Shh. What world are we freaking living in here? I need a break. Just freaking burnt my eye or something. Okay. I haven't had junk in 8 months. Holy moly. Look at you. Chat is wild tonight. YouTube is freaking nuts. So I don't know if TikTok's pretty normal. TikTok is like straight down the pipe of what I do here. Answer health questions. Hey Antonio, are you Christian? I am. Look at that. What'd you know? Ba-ba-ba. Actually, let me do this. Oh my goodness. Now I can see everybody so much easier. Suggestions on seizures, what causes them. I would do some Bacopa. I would do some ginkgo. And probably some binding right now. So probably some activated charcoal. Very, 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 very small amounts because it's a kiddo. I would avoid wheat, dairy, corn, soy, processed sugar with everything in every cell in your body. And probably, for right now, encapsulated liver glandular. That's what I would be doing. But maybe passion flower, things like that. My son has been having them, or so many. Yeah, so I mean, I I need you to get some labs done. I need you to get some labs done. Because just simply trying to get this from a comment thing, that's pretty severe. Again, vaccine history is probably your number one thing to be looking for. So maybe a heavy metal test. It kind of depends on your son. So needs to see a neurologist. They probably already did that, but we'll know. Okay, beautiful. February, end of February. Yeah, how'd I know? Just like everybody I speak to, already seen freaking 6 specialists. And then medical people come on here and they're like, no, they need to go to another medical person. It's like, whew. I'm just getting sassy. That's all. We'll reel it back in. Okay. We'll reel her back in. But okay. Anyways, what can cause foot pain without hurting? No wound, no nothing. So some freaking fat nurse in here. Okay, charcoal, no evidence behind that. Yeah, well, if there's no evidence, then why does every patient come to me from a medical provider and then we fix their issues and then they all go away? Pretty standard question I have that no one can seem to answer. Anyways, vaccines are not related to seizures. Holy fuck. Anyways, only every single kid I've ever seen with a seizure. You people are freaking brainwashed to God's end. I said I was going to reel it in, huh? All right, let's see where YouTube's at. Okay, there was a foot question though. Sorry. We'll get back to YouTube. Bum 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 bum. What can cause a foot pain without any hurting? Yes. Bum, bum, bum. Probably excess sugars, improper footwear, probably my two biggest things. Wearing heels, things like that. It's just going to bind the foot up like crazy. So you may have some issue with the fifth metatarsal impeding some of the distal nerve there in the foot. So some passion flower and boswellia, wearing barefoot shoes. I would be curious as to what your arch is like and all that stuff. So headband sensation, crawling and tingling, clear with CAT scan of the head. Interesting. Well, if it's clear with that, I I would be curious for some segmental somatic dysfunction there. My daughter's getting in the molars. Tealing is really bad. Any suggestions? Yeah, you can do little little ice pops with electrolytes in them. So you can get like a flavored electrolyte powder from Ultima, and then basically put that in water, pour it into little cubes, and then put in like a safe little popsicle there, and it'll help her soothe. Or you can like freeze berries and have her just gnaw on those a little bit. She'll love it. She'll friggin' love it. It'll help a lot with the pain. What can cause kidney stones? Usually oxalate rich foods, um, dehydration, and excess sugars, even excess calcium into the system too. So there can be parathyroid issues. There can be a whole lot going on there. But yeah. Anyways, she's swollen. Really never froze berries. Never knew frozen berries would help. Any particular kind? Yeah, I mean she's over 1, so at that point, it's just a little trick that I've seen done and done with myself and a bunch of the kids that I've seen. But frozen fruit, it's great because they're basically warming that food up little by little. They'll get a little snack of it too. Um, any particular kind? I would say blueberries, just because the seeds are a lot smaller. Um, and probably start there. Frozen berries, they'll love it. She'll love it. Is it okay to get adjusted 3 days in a row? I mean, everybody's going to be different. If you are flared up that much, certainly. Golden Eyes apparently is freaking brain dead. Thinks that Cairo has anything to do with medications or surgery. Do me a favor, keep scrolling. Freaking Hebe. Sorry for the sassiness. It's just like these people are, one, they're bots, um, and two, in my degree, I do not talk about medication or surgery. My goodness. So it's like, dude, food and natural things that come from the earth, correcting their freaking stressors that everybody gets impacted by. And I kind of like being sassy a little bit too. I see somebody that, what inspired you to do this kind of work. I think part of it is having a deviance decision pattern that I like kind of going against the grain in most things. So I'm not doing this to be liked. Let me be very clear. Um, this is to help people and basically help them get as healthy as possible. Um, but yeah, in terms of the inspiration, I was a patient first. So becoming a patient is what inspired me to do this. And I had depression. I had a ton of GI issues. I had back acne that was crazy every time I consumed wheat or seed oils, things like that. Um, insane amounts of nausea, horrible bowel movements. So, you know, after dealing with mental health things, and actually, the whole reason for me wanting to start Wellness with Care, sorry, was I thought I had a heart problem. And this was right when COVID went down, so 2020. I thought I had a severe heart problem. just from eating terribly throughout college and graduate school, staying up really late, and I had heart palpitations like crazy. And like I would go from laying down to standing up, and the room was spinning, and a lot of chest pain. So I got all the scans done by a hospital, and they said, "Dude, you are perfect." And I'm like, "What? This is not true at all." I got a list of things going on, plus the mental health stuff and the GI complaints and all this. But I went to a wellness way 30 minutes from my school in Missouri, and within like 1 or 2 months, I was doing phenomenally. And I said, "I'm doing this the rest of my life." So here we are, 5, 6 years later. You're being sassy. It's making me laugh. Is mayonnaise an instrument? Can mayo float? I don't know. That's a great question. I don't know. I've never tried it out. I don't know the buoyancy of fat, so it's gonna float technically, right? I mean, it's made from eggs, so there's. I would say yes, it floats. That's my guess from the amount of fat in there. Bum bum bum. He's 28 now. Immune system. Wait. Homeopathic chamomile for teething. With my kid from baby. No vaccines. Beautiful. Would long-term GABA supplementation fix GI issues? Nope. Nope. You are focusing on a nutrient, on a deficiency. Um, so, can you see benefit to the brain? Yes. Will it impact the GI as much as you think? No. I do have thyroid issues and I have a history of kidney stones. Never connected them. Thank you. I would look for calcium in the blood. I would probably want to do a urine calcium test too. Look at magnesium, maybe even parathyroid hormone because the thyroid's right there. It's pretty typical to see some secondary hyperparathyroidism with a lot of thyroid issues going on. Calcium is going to get sent to many areas of the body when you're highly inflamed. That's part of the reason why calcium gets deployed in that process anyways, is to protect that organ or gland from damage. So you'll see on even on a simple x-ray, people have calcified thyroid glands. But yeah, I would get a full thyroid panel, and from that and with the antibodies showing up there, that'll point us in a direction as to what to do next. Holy hell, it is 8:40 at night. I did not expect to go this long, but my goodness, people, I hate to cut everybody off, but I got to pee for one thing, and two, I got to go the frick home. Um, I'm like 30 minutes away. So if I did not get to your questions, or you want further info, or you want to start care, or any of those things, on TikTok, send me a message. On YouTube, there is a self registration link because I can put a link tree in there. I also have my clinic email in there as well. Feel free, send me messages, emails, whatever the heck you got to do. Let's figure out what you got going on, get you back to normal. So, happy Monday, as always. Stay healthy, stay free. Freaking burping like crazy. But call me Bun. Okay, we'll do one more. A little sassy question coming in here. Probably from a nobody. So 30 followers. Why do so many chiros pretend to be medical professionals? So to give medical advice, you need to talk about medications or surgery. So by and large, you have no idea what the fuck you're talking about. And I will see you guys tomorrow. Sound good? All right. Good stuff, people. See ya. Oh, there we go. Peace out.